he's like, if you knew this is how much it connects to me and you're not willing to do it, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, I told him I'ma hit it out the stands. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans.
Welcome to another episode of the Married Game Podcast. We are the voice you trust when it comes to lust, and we are who you hire when she lacks desire. And we've got a new setup, Jessie J.
This was fun.
Testing some new things out, having a little fun. Before we go on, we want them to share the show on any platform they want to share. Tell your friends, but for real, it's feeling more and more lately to me, just like people just don't have the truth about like how to work through shit and come to like, how do we actually communicate? How do we actually support each other? How do we actually come to peace with each other? And I think a lot of families are getting ripped apart because they just don't know shit.
Yeah, we have a hard time with that.
We have a hard time. And they've just bought into the cultural conditioned bullshit, i.e. honeymoon is the best time of your marriage. That's not true. You're not supposed to fight.
Yeah, we talked about that in the last one.
Fighting is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like it's what two humans do when you live together. There's a lot of these things that we talk about, the guy stepping up and really owning his shit. Now we're talking about helping women step up and really own their shit and releasing some stuff for couples.
Yeah, I love that because we have been asked so many times by the men in our group. They're like, do you have something for my wife? My wife is asking me for something because if he's on this track, she wants to join in, and that's where the great marriage is.
Yeah.
That's where they sprout right there.
So they truly do. And so that being said, there's more of a, I don't know if it's a heavy weight. It's not a heavy weight. It's more of like an excitement and evangelistic feel to be like, dude, we've got to get this message out. Guys, you got to understand, because I hear guys talk about their wives and their marriages all the time, and you hear what you know, right?
Yeah, the cues.
And I'm just like, oh, dude, that guy needs 3 tweaks, and he would be loving his marriage right now. So the reason for that, if you love this show, we want you to share the show. Don't be a nerd. Don't be a turd. Spread the word. That is what will help, because here's something I'm reminded of. If you and I have an amazing marriage, and we share with other people how to have an amazing marriage, and they have an amazing marriage, and their kids grow up learning to see what amazing marriages is, and then other people who don't have an amazing marriage start to see more people have amazing marriages, and amazing marriages, like amazing.
Are we starting a trend?
Dude, why not?
Instead of the trend of divorces and broken families, broken homes.
Somebody has to.
Amazing relationships.
Trends start with each individual person saying, I'm going to get better. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be a better listener. You're going to be a better share of your truth courageously, like you were this last week. I'm going to ask for what I want because I want it, not for any other reason than I just fucking want it. And I don't have to explain why I want something. I just want something. Same. Well, if we had really kick-ass marriages, showing each other, seeing the thing, then, dude, that's how a culture will actually change. And as a culture, we're just like, we reject all this other bullshit. Get your bullshit out of Target. Get your, like, all that type of stuff. So I say all that, so share the show so more people can hear this. I want to respect and honor and reward the people that are actually sharing the show in a way where it'd be like, hey, why don't you come out and, I don't know, win a competition, come out and let's have lunch in Dana Point. Tell us about your situation. Tell us about your fucking story. So I want to be more a community-based like that. And it starts with you sharing the show because you love it and you might know people that help it. Now, that's not any of the that's the setup for this conversation that we're pretty excited about talking about today.
I'm super excited because, well, first of all, you and I have been working through, and so you said it's so hard to, like, we're already good, but to get to that next level, like, it's easy from like, real shit, change a couple of things and your relationship feels a lot better. But when you're already good, to get to the great, that's when you got to get like super real honest.
Yeah.
Like we've been doing, you and I.
I'm proud of us.
So that's why I'm like really excited to talk about what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's You're absolutely right. I call it blue flame love. Blue flame love is that it's so pure, nothing has infiltrated it,
No air has
tainted
gotten
it,
into it. Yeah.
nothing. It's just, but that comes with such pure honesty. Like, hey, what do you believe about this or this? Oh shit, we actually believe the exact opposite. Well, fuck, what does that mean? How does that work? And then we've discovered we actually don't think the exact opposite really on anything, but there's things we're working through, and we're having a tremendous amount of curiosity and respect for each other in the midst of it.
Sure.
Which is all you can do that's all you can do with human beings.
Mm-hmm.
But to go from, hey man, this thing sucks, we might get a divorce, to, wow, this is a good marriage. You're right. There's a couple tactical things if you just show that up, to where like neither person is divorceable, but they're not like ecstatic.
You're just like content. You're
Like
this is cool.
Like, yeah, this is kind of what I heard it and thought it
Yeah.
might be.
Yeah.
But then you see these couples, they're like, well, how are they so in love? What do you mean you guys are having sex in the basket escalator? What do you mean you guys are?
Yeah.
How does that can't be real? What are you faking? What are you hiding? It's like, no. We've taken the time to be very real and honest with each other about
And
who we
very
are,
vulnerable.
Well,
Very vulnerable
There's a
for
lot.
me.
There's a lot on the line for both of us if we come to each other with the truth that we think the other might not accept or doesn't, or actually might even not just not accept but reject.
Yeah. Or hurt feelings.
Or hurt
Someone
feelings or
yeah.
whatever. And you came to me with some truth this last week. I love how I received it.
Yeah.
Because I've told you I'm a lover of truth, even if it hurts. And I got told by you something this week that was beautiful. I got told something by Danielle this week.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
That was fun.
I got told something by myself this week that was beautiful. I got told something by Taylor this week that was like, every one of them was just like, you're not wrong. I got told something by Mo this week that I was like, shit, you're not wrong. And it was all because I was able to accept it. It became very inspirational for me to get curious about those areas and learn and grow, which I'm pumped about.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the big question. Not for you, but for guys listening worldwide. Does her no start to sound like never after a while?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm answering for them.
Yes. Well, it came. We had a very interesting coaching call with our people.
It was so good.
And shout out to all of you guys who have coaches. You're the real deal, because every winner I know has a coach, because you can't see what you can't see. And these guys, he said something. He goes, yeah, man, that no is starting to feel like never. And I'm like, ooh, that's a clever word to say that. But shit, that's a really depressing feeling.
Yeah.
Like, guys lose all hope. So we came up with how did you want to start this?
Thank you. Everything's coming to my brain at once, so I got to sort it.
Okay.
Someone asked me, my wife, okay, so at the end of the night, I asked her, we had a great day. I was involved with the kids. I did all the things, all the points, racked everything, right? At the end of the day, they're laying there, and he asks for sex. However, he asked. And she comes up with these things. She's like, I just showered, or we had a great day. Like, can't we just go to bed? I'm tired, all those things. Then I started thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, yeah, I feel that way. I feel that way. I feel that way a lot of the time.
Yeah.
What I just skimmed over had come back to, because I was like, wait, that is way bigger than what I'm just skimming over. I just kind of gave him a quick answer. But I was like, oh, me too. I feel those ways. Like, I showered, like, I'm so clean and snuggly in my bed. Now I'm all cozy, and now it's, now, in a way, it feels like an ambush. And what I was telling the guy, I was like, I like to plan it. In a relationship that we've been together for a long time, and in my whole day, I want to plan sex. Yes, I can have spontaneous sex. Yes, we can go out and get drunk and have a good time. I'm not saying no to those things, but for the most part, I'm a planner. I like to plan. I have the kids drop off. We do this. I want to shower, and then I want to shower at night. So, like, I want everything to be laid out, because I don't want to be like, oh, shit, let's throw that in here. Okay, like, I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah.
When I plan it, I'm way more excited about it.
Yeah.
I can think about it for the whole day. I'm showered from the morning, prepped ready for you. I know I can shower at night. All these little details for me make me more excited about it. So when I was telling him, I was like, maybe you should say something in the morning or in the afternoon. So kind of what we do. We know it's been like a day or two. What do you say? Tell me something that you would say.
There's a million different ways we say it, but sometimes like, hey, were you busy later? What are you up to?
Yeah.
Are you, something
Yeah.
covert,
Yeah.
because that's how you women like to talk, and
Right.
it actually is more flirty and fun that way.
There you go. That's why. And so when you say things like that, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Or if I'm super busy today, can we do it tomorrow in the nooner? Because I'm a nooner.
Yeah.
And that makes me super excited because I know I'm excited about it at that time. So if I plan it and adjust it in my head, I'm ready to do all the fun things and I'm in it.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, okay, just hurry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another thing I want to give a tip for a woman.
Yeah.
This is the biggest thing that we do. I wrote it down.
Okay. You're pulling out the.
I have my notes.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
prepared. Okay. This is the language we use.
Let's go, Jesse Joy. Let's go.
I'm real excited about this.
Yeah,
I
you
feel like
really
it's
are.
not a little thing. It's a big thing.
It's a fucking
then
huge
women
thing.
can adjust sex more in their brain to be in it
Yeah.
instead of feeling at night like, fuck, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So this is a language we use and we're going to use for our married gay couple.
Were
And
you dropping like hints?
I know my word.
You gonna close your book or something? You're excited.
You're making me crazy.
Why?
You're making me crazy. Okay.
Why, dude?
So here's the language that we use, our
'Cause
vocabulary.
You're so on fire.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you are. You're
super
doing
excited.
Yeah, but you dropped a hint that we're gonna be doing something
Yeah,
for
we are.
couples.
Let's not skim over that either, huh?
Okay. Well, I keep telling the story, but I thought that was kind of cool.
Here's a vocabulary word I want couples to learn. Women.
Okay.
When you start your period, have a headache, kids, tired, whatever you feel like you cannot go forward, you can't do it. I like to use this word. I like to use a rain check because just as you were saying, it starts to feel like never.
Yeah.
Then you use the word rain check. Can I have a rain check? Can we do it tomorrow? You give them another time frame on when you're available to do it for whatever reason. Then they feel better about it. You feel better, and then you can plan it, and you can have amazing sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dun,
So
dun, dun,
so
dun.
never rejection, always rain check. That's a principle you and I have lived by for quite
For a
some
while.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we haven't really talked about it as much here, but that's we even wrote a whole system on like what he's gonna
the
say. what she's.
anti-pouty pussy protocol.
There you go.
Pussy rejection protocol.
There you go.
Yeah. The anti-pouty rejection protocol.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Because then we talk about from the man's point of view and then also the woman's point of view together.
Yeah. Well, it's the reason why we said, hey, let's just come up. Like, first of all, we love frameworks. We love thinking through filters. We love organizing our thought on an idea.
It makes it more clear, and then there's an outline
to
follow, basically, so you don't get upset and you're not emotional about it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes just switching the frame on how you perceive something and your perspective changes how you see everything.
Exactly.
And so it's like, okay, well, no matter what, a guy wants to have sex with his wife. The reason he's acting like a pouty little bee is because that's what he wants and she doesn't want him, or women have weaponized it and said, hey, you're not getting this unless you, and there's this tendency in today's modern world, especially our society, that it's like sex is a treat. If you're a good boy, you get this treat, as opposed to, no, it's not a treat. That's food for his soul. You got to understand that. That's food for his soul. The best analogy, I got to say it so online, and then I want to get back to what you're saying so we can go through the protocol.
Yeah.
Garrett came up with the best line to help women understand. And that was one of the things we talked about on our coaching call. He's like, how do I help my wife understand that it would be meaningful?
Right.
At the end of the day, yeah, it could be a great day and do nothing, but I've been thinking about sex all day with you because I'm a guy and I think about you, and First of all, we told him, you're not perverted. You're supposed to want to have sex with your wife.
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe I want it too much. I'm like, stop. No, that's how you were made.
Yeah.
The reason you have those urges for really the bottom line is to keep humanity moving. So it's not like you're a pervert or you're crazy or, man, I don't know why I have such a high sex drive. I know exactly why you have such a high sex drive.
Yeah.
It's your job to implant seed into her so that the fucking human race continue. That's normal. So first of all, don't ever be ashamed about that. If she says, wow, all you think about sex, the answer is, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how I'm wired. Okay, that doesn't mean I don't need to have self-control over it and those types of things, but you're not allowed to judge me on how much sex I'm allowed to or not have. Who the fuck are you to judge me? That's what goes through man's mind.
Allowed to have that.
What's that?
You said allowed to have with her.
With her. Well, yeah. Well, but in a monogamous relationship, that's allowed to have. So, first, there's so many psychological things going on in this thing. That's why I'm breaking it down for as you guys are watching, because I want you to understand like why we're saying the things we're saying, because there's a natural order to how this actually works. And so, first of all, a guy goes, why is it so hard for a woman, if she knows it would mean the world to me to just spend 5 to 8 minutes with me and us connecting in a way that makes me actually feel connected? How could a woman be so cruel as to withhold that from him,
or to use it like this,
or to use it like a treat?
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
No, it's vindictive, but I think it's because a lot of women don't understand or aren't open and willing. And there's a lot of reasons why this could be. It's not like a man's body part goes inside of him when we do this, so that's a different thing. We are going inside of something, but he's like, if you knew this is how much it connects to me and you're not willing to do it, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
How can that be? And it's actually why I shot the solo podcast 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
That'll be released. I think it'll be released by the time this is released.
Yeah.
But the real question was for the ladies: if you knew this makes your husband feel so connected, why would you take it away from him because you know he wants it so bad? That's like cruel.
And you can't go get it anywhere else.
You can't go.
You just never can do it.
So the analogy
That's crazy.
The analogy that Garrett said was, imagine I had your phone, and for you to be able to go on Instagram or to go shopping on Amazon, you had to get my permission, and I had to be in the mood. That lands, doesn't it?
And it's like once a week, you're like, I still don't feel. I have a headache. You can't scroll.
Yeah. No, I didn't like
no.
what dinner you cooked last night. I'm still a little mad about that. I've never heard a better analogy. And for me, it's like if a woman really believed that was the case, and that is how it feels, it's like, well, shit. You might want to be a little more sensitive. And here's the other thing is usually for couples, it's like, yeah, well, if he started being a better man, maybe I'd have more sex. And it's like, well, maybe what if you tried giving him more sex? Maybe he'd be a better man. What if you actually showed up for 90 days and said, you know what, my standard is my husband gets laid 3 times a week, whether he deserves it or not. Why? Because that's who I am. Then after 90 days,
interesting.
Dude, like it's the same thing I tell the guys. You have to make your side of the street so fucking clean that if you cooked an egg on it, you'd be the first one in line to eat it. What if the woman treated I know it's 95% the guy's fault. But there's a lot of women that reach out to us, and this is what this has been growing and evolving.
Yeah.
Is they're like, how do I get my husband to finally figure it out? And it's like, you know what? Yeah, you can send them to our podcast, and sometimes they'll listen and go, yeah, I fucking need that. But I actually think there's a more powerful way, and it's the woman stepping up into her power and going, oh, by the way, it's the same psychology for men. By the way, any man with me, speaking from a woman, any man with me, he's getting laid 2 to 3 times a week minimum, whether he deserves it or not.
Wow.
You know why? Because that's my standard. Because I'm not going to be able to look at this guy when we do get a divorce and be like, maybe I should have done. She will not go into a divorce knowing that she didn't clean her side of the street and go her way, and she'll never feel powerful.
That's the reasoning why.
Yes.
Right there.
It's for her. It's not for him.
To know that you've done all that you could do.
Yes.
On both ends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Then you're for sure, this guy's for me or not for me.
But I would be curious to see what this husband's like when he receives an A+ wife. The same way I'm curious how a wife would respond when she finally gets an A+ husband.
Right.
So we're encouraging both. For the guy, I know that if the guy as the leader changes, there are tremendous results in families that have listened to our advice and the guy steps up and the woman wants to go there with him. But I also would believe, because I've seen two versions of this happen the way, and this is why I'm excited to kind of start coaching the ladies as well. A different program, of course, for them.
Yeah, for sure.
But to really understand, hey, wait a second. There's a version of you that gets to show up here, and there's a version of you that gets to show him this is who I really am. I wonder how he'll show up when he feels radically supported in a way that's meaningful to him. So it's personal standards for each person. So it would actually work for either.
So we talked about on the woman's side, the rain check, pulling a rain check, and if he asked her earlier in the day. Mm-hmm. So we gave kind of what the woman should say, but what is the man's point of view? To be inquisitive.
Be curious.
Yes.
Yeah.
To ask questions. So what would be a line he would say, and then how would he respond?
Oh, you want me to get back to the practical steps?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I wanted them to understand the psychology of why this is happening.
Totally.
So that way, both people are standing up as their best. That's what you and I do anyway.
We try to.
Well, no, I try to be the best version of me for me, and I also try and be the best version of me in our relationship.
Yep.
They're two different people.
Yeah.
Although they're not.
And a mother for myself. So all three, for myself, for you, for our relationship, for our family.
Yeah.
For all the things.
And in fixing your own self as a person, you're going to be more adaptive and curious to what you're like, hey, this isn't just about me. What's going on with you? Mm-hmm. People are afraid to share what they want. People don't even fucking know what they want. And actually they do. And they're so afraid and being so conditioned to say that they can't say it because they're going to feel judged. That's a fucking prison, man.
Yep.
Fuck that shit. People need to wake up, dude. We're waking them up. Okay, here we go. So once
do you have your notes?
Yeah, I'm noted up, bro. I'm noted up. Well, let's go. All right. Now that the women know, all right, not rejection, it's rain check, because when you don't tell him, it makes his brain go crazy. So if he initiates and she goes, no, not tonight. If she just says no, not tonight, that's when the guy needs to say, all right, cool. Well, when's a good time?
Exactly.
He's asking for what he wants.
With no emotion or backstory or all that into that little sentence.
Oh, when's a good time then?
Well, when then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
well, when?
Yeah.
Genuinely, I'm asking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. There's a whole fucking class on how to stay emotionally stable in the midst of that, dude. Yeah. Okay. When's a good time? Now, she's going to have a multitude of possibilities of answers.
Yeah.
All right. First answer. Tomorrow at a certain time.
Noon.
You're always rooting for noon.
I am.
Yeah. Okay, so perfect. We go, all right, that's great.
Cool. See you then. Can't wait.
See you then, can't wait.
Then the pressure's off. You can be fun and flirty. Be ready for it.
People think that because we schedule sex, there's like, when I first thought, I'm like, schedule sex? How can it be that good? And then I realized.
What about when you know when you're going to get a gift and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait for the gift.
The best.
Thinking about it. But don't tell me what the gift is.
No.
You're kind of bad at that.
Yeah, I am. But like Christmas Eve is always better than Christmas afternoon.
Exactly. Folks.
Do I need to explain that or should I let it linger?
No.
Okay.
Don't give him too much. Whoa.
Oh, whoa. Easy, boy.
Thing.
Easy, boy. Easy, big boy. Okay. Her possible second response is, no, maybe tomorrow. And that's still a question mark.
Maybe.
To which then he needs to respond, maybe tomorrow? Okay, cool. Like, which time tomorrow?
Yeah.
He needs
to lock it down.
Log it down.
Yeah.
It's like sales. Log it down. To which she's probably going to, I don't know, fill in the excuse. Fill in the excuse. I don't know. I got this. I got that. I don't know. What do you think a man's hearing when a woman does these things? No, but what do you think he's...
Never.
Okay, but how do you think it's making him feel?
Not good. You tell
Dude,
me.
I feel like I'm doing Pictionary with you. Not
good.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
Never.
Hopeless.
Okay.
Fuck, dude. Okay. Maybe. And I'm just.
But I hope he
mean,
doesn't respond like that.
Well, depends on how many times
That's
she
true
does
too.
that to him.
That's true too.
This is to remain a true observer in a situation like this when you're actually one of the characters in the situation like this is not fucking easy.
It's not easy, but that's what we're trying to teach here. So I don't think responding like that is good at saying. Then you start to say, well, this never is feeling like a long time, or that's when you get into it.
Well, I think you let it happen a couple times.
Yeah.
And then you go, hey, the last 3 times that's happened, the snow's starting to feel like
Remain
never.
calm, see?
Yeah, the snow's starting to feel like a never. Mm-hmm. And then if she's like, well, I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm busy. Well, we have to precursor all this. This dude should be fucking have claimed his side of the street for at least 2 or 3 months. Why 2 or 3 months? She needs to know this is real and it's not just happening so he can just sleep with her.
Yeah.
So
it has to be a real change.
Yeah, we gotta line that back out. Okay. Mm-hmm. That being said, there's another one. It's like she goes, I don't know. I'm not really a planner. It has to be spontaneous. There's actually women that really do feel that way. They don't want to be nailed down.
That's why we came up with all of these things. The real answers someone's gonna have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
And then there's the really sad one when people are kind of rocky for whatever reason, and she's just like, "Oh, don't ask. We're not really there right now." That would probably be the biggest fucking crush to the heart for a husband to look at his wife and his wife go, "No, we're not there right now."
And after he's put in all the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that would
but
be
this
sad.
is now. Here's where the story doesn't get sad. He says, "Okay, so you're showing me exactly how you really truly feel, and after 90 days, if he's doing his thing,
give or take, or
he gets to decide. Well, I've raised to a new standard. I now won't accept this. Maybe you'll feed me, maybe you won't mentality.
Yeah."
Then he gets to decide what he wants to do from there. If he comes to a married game, he's going to be radically empowered to make a decision that feels congruent for him and that he feels empowered to make. But he will feel hopeless for most of these. Just out of curiosity, I'm curious what you think. How many times should a guy get rejected in this type of manner? Like, even if he's cool,
There's
calm,
so
and
much
collected.
behind that when you ask that. I don't know that relationship. How long has he been on the up train? What's going on with her? What's going on with them? I don't.
Is there any principles you would have for a filter? Because my mind's thinking of what would the filter be right now, and I don't have anything. I'm thinking, well, it's individual for each person, and they would have like, what's your tolerance for rejection, and what is your ability to say, hey, this isn't actually going to work if this is the way it continues to be, it's not. Here's the other thing. A lot of times people think that, hey, this isn't going to work is an ultimatum. It's not usually an ultimatum. In fact, it can be very empowering if it's not an ultimatum, and it can be like, I'm just predicting our future. If there's no water and there's no soil and there's no sunlight,
where do you think that's gonna go?
It can't grow.
Yeah.
So if we've got the water and we've got the soil but no sunshine, so that's the actual conversation I think that you get to. I don't know how long it takes for a guy. I think he's got to figure out, hey, is this really going to change? Is this lady actually? Because it feels like as if the lady just doesn't give a fuck about what he wants at all. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these women, they eat, sleep, drive, everything because of this man.
Not in all relationships.
Not in all relationships. Yeah. No, that's not in all relationships. There's nothing in all relationships.
I know, not all.
But this does happen, and it's the rich guy has the desperate, bored housewife at home who's doing all the things, and then she's just barely giving it up to him. I just think that a woman would feel way more better about herself if she had a higher standard for herself, and then let that standard be known. And then basically, what a fuck you to a guy if you raise your standard for 90 days and you came and said, that's what you're going to be missing out on.
I think the way you phrase it sounds like that just because he makes money that women should be giving it up. But the reframe is that's how he feels loved. That's
Yeah.
how he feels connected. So how you say it right now sounded like just because you make money and my wife's supposed to sit at home and have her legs spread up whenever I want it.
Not whenever, but like not once a
Yeah,
fucking
but it's not
month.
like that.
Yeah.
It's if you love this man that you have chosen to be with,
Yeah.
then that's a part of it. So money, not money, all the things is you're in a relationship.
Period.
That's what you expect from a man and woman to have sex, or whoever wants to have sex. And in your relationship, when you get married or when you say, this is my lifelong partner, that's what should be had to feel connection.
Yeah.
To feel love, all the things that a man would want to feel. So I think that's why you should be having sex.
Yeah.
For that connection, for that love to grow.
Yeah. Is there some tips for the women for them to help them get over like just how gross they think their husband is, how bitter they are, how resentful they are? Like, because here's the thing: when you and I are in a fight, usually somebody has to step forward and say, "Hey, can we start this over?"
Yeah.
It's almost always me, but it wasn't me this last time.
I'm doing pretty good at that.
This last
I'm
time.
learning. I'm
this
growing.
last
all the
time
things.
you fucking.
Not just last time too. I think this year.
Okay.
The last year and a half even.
I can tell you, I remember one time distinctly, and it was this last time. The other ones I may
remember
not
I said
remember.
put your sword down, or I just
Yeah.
all the
okay,
things.
yeah,
I'm trying.
Yeah. That's no. You're right. You're right. That's good. This last time for sure. It takes that. So what do you think? What would it be a tip for a woman to be able to do that?
Well, their man has to not be gross, because that's gross. Like,
but
when
if she's
showering
for the
and
next
all things,
90 days going to rise to her standard,
then I think she should say something
like, "Hey, go jump in the shower. And I'm gonna fuck you.
fully.
You
Yeah.
got to clean up, dude."
Yes, you have to.
What if he's really fat and over disgusting now? She just has to reach in there and give him a hand job until he fucking loses some weight so she can actually ride
I don't know.
him.
I think he should go through married game, and if he's not being his best self, that shows a lot about his whole life.
Here's the plan. A woman who's struggling, who wants her husband to go there, she comes to a married game and raises the level of her game to such a level. Because I think there's a lot of women that actually think they're doing really well, but if they hear from a guy's perspective about how they're doing, from an outside perspective,
Yeah.
a lot like how the guys hear from
Yeah,
you.
exactly. It works
they'd be
both
like,
ways,
they'd
for
be like,
sure.
well, but do you know he feels this, and this? And they'd be like, fuck, I had no idea that.
Right.
I think there's a lot of help they can do to heal their relationship as well. But even if nothing else, at the end of that 90 days, if he notices, oh my God, you've changed. I want you back. I want this version of you. And then she goes, cool, you got to go through married game.
Yeah.
Or else you don't get me back. And it's, what a cool thing that would be for a cultural thing. You know what I mean? We're helping all these women become the best badass version of them and how to deal with their clunky, clumsy, clownish husband. And
Danielle
then
had talked about this before, is like, why wait till you get divorced to start feeling sexy and working out and trying and investing all that? Like, do it before. Fuck
Yeah.
his brains out before.
Yeah.
And see what happens. See what comes of your relationship before that.
You know what's so beautiful about that? Is you'll never know unless you try.
Can't never did anything. I love that saying.
Can't never did anything.
My mom used to say that to me all the time. Can't never did anything.
That's so true.
I like the twang with it.
Yeah, but it's this. It's so funny.
It's true.
It's this concept of like, it's a lot easier to complain about somebody than it is to take what you believe is full responsibility. And I'm excited to see what happens as it's more of just everybody needs to take personal accountability. But I don't know if a lot of women really understand what it's like for their man to only be able to get that thing from them. Is there a corollary for the for the female? We inserted an artificial one with the asking for the phone, asking for the Amazon. But is there a real one that we're not thinking of yet?
When I come up with it, I'll let you know.
If any of you guys are hearing this and you're like, dude, duh, it's this,
I know.
let us know. Support at keithyaki.com. We'd love to know more about that. Anything else you want to say to add to any of that? I loved this episode.
I just want to recap to maybe ask ahead of time to plan some sex.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing. It's better than not getting it. Try a different route.
Yeah. And for you ladies, if anything that we've said, you're like, oh, that's fucking bullshit. That's cool.
Ooh, I want to know.
Have you tested it?
That too. And I want to know. Test it and then let me know. I'm just speaking from me.
But we were talking about some health things the other day. Like, does this work? Does that work? Is this healthy? Is that healthy? And I'm like, you know what?
You gotta test it.
You got to test it because it doesn't even. If it worked on me, it doesn't mean it's going to work on you.
Yeah, like broccoli. I cannot eat any broccoli.
Yeah.
Some people can.
You can't eat it. I won't eat it. So we're friends like that. All right. We've got some other really fun stuff coming up. We'll announce it later. But if you are a woman and you're saying, hey, yeah, dude, I'd like to be a part of this married game for the female edition, let us know. And if you are couples saying, finally, when are you guys fucking doing your couples thing? It is coming. But just let us know. It's always good to hear from you guys that you actually want that. You know, we want to provide things that are extremely valuable to people that value them. So, again, don't be a nerd. Spread the word. And keep crushing it.
No.
That shit's contagious.
Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly.